And hello, fellow gamers. I am back playing more video games. This time I'm playing Banjo-Kazooie again. I've been gradually working my way through the game on a specific file. Last time around, I found out that I couldn't complete Gobi's Valley. Oh, my first time here says over 28 hours. I thought it was about 20 hours. I was talking to the people in the chat in the pre-show about that. Anyway, last time I found out on this file, which is the one I'm working my way through now, that I couldn't complete Gobi's Valley until I had another move that was available in another level. And frequent viewer Mr. Gevorg Marashlian told me that that move can be had in Freezeezy Peak, so that's where I'm going. I think I can get there quicker by taking this pot down here. Is this the right one? And that has put me where I think it has. Indeed. So I can just walk right over here to this tunnel and I'm right at the entrance to Freezeezy Peak. There's something else I can try first, though, because I did unlock the speed shoe thingies. And this is quite difficult to do. I'm probably going to fuck it up the first time. Nope. So, remember if it's that one. Okay, here's what we have to do. I have to hit this, which is going to spawn a flying pad in the next room. Then I have to get the shoes and run to it as fast as I can before the timer on this switch runs out and explodes the flying pad. See, there it is. Holy shit, that was close. So now I can fly up through here in this tunnel, which takes me over to the same room, but higher up. Don't want to touch the floor because then that'll cancel the flying. Not exactly sure how high I have to go, which that's apparently too high. Is that where I wanted to go? Because that doesn't seem particularly special. Because I could have gotten up... Oh, there's another one up there, isn't there? There's another door higher up, I think. But is it open? So you can see the edge of it just to the right and above me. There's kind of a flickering line up there. I don't think that's actually open, though. So I must have to do something else in order to open that up. Okay, well, I'll go into Freezeezy Peak then. And this is very slippery if you can't tell. Like, I'll walk over here and then I'll push the stick all the way to the right now. It's very, very slippery. Beak's got another new move waiting for you, which is the one move that I want, which I think is called the Beak Barge. I don't know exactly where that move is either, so I'm just going to kind of wander around in here trying to find it and do everything that I can on the way. Do I need an invincibility feather? Yes, I could use one, because I only have 7. Oh, come on. There we go. And these are Boggy's children. Boggy is a polar bear, Where's our presents? My dad Boggy says he was fetching him. He's been gone for ages. They started sounding all South Park all of a sudden. Oh, I was just trying to talk to him. I wasn't trying to beat him up. I don't condone child abuse. But I guess they probably all say the same thing. Okay, so what you're supposed to do there is there are presents for them that are scattered around the stage. There's like 3 of them, I think. 1 for each of them. And there's Boggy right there. Grown, my stomach aches. I shouldn't have eaten that shiny thing. Someone help poor Boggy. Shiny thing, you say? Well, that didn't help. So maybe I could bust it out of him. There's quite a lot of flying to be had in this level, which is why I'm being so diligent about picking up the red feathers. Nope, nothing. Okay. I'm sure I'll remember and / figure out how to do stuff with him as I go. And that you hear right there, that's Sir Slush. And his shots have a tendency to auto-aim on the direction that you're walking. So like, if you continue walking in the same direction, he's going to throw so that it goes, so that it'll hit you by the time you get to the spot where it would hit you. See? So what's helpful with him is to change directions as you're trying to go around him. That'll confuse his auto-aiming. See, I didn't get out of the way fast enough for that. Main... Shit, he can hit me from way over there. What a dick. I was trying to get a good angle here so I can show the people what this level looks like. I can sort of do it from up here. Okay, yeah, the main geological feature of this level is gigantic fucking snowman. He doesn't look that big when you're that far away, but look at this. Get closer to him, and I'm standing next to one of his feet right now. And those Sir Slushes never run out of ammo either. There is a way to kill them, though. Shit, see? If you can hear them laughing, then they can hit you from where you're standing. What I was going to say is, each of those Sir Slushes has a red X on their top hat. So you can sort of see it there. See if I can get him back. See, there he is. There's the red X. And with the move that you learn in this level, you can slam into them and kill them, and then they do not respawn. So while they are pretty annoying in the short term here, I will be able to kill them shortly and get rid of their auto-aiming bullshit once and for all. Hey, and we are joined by several other viewers here. The great Dvakin135, who has been here before, welcome. Favorite level out of the whole game, he says. Along with Tiny Goliath says, hey ho, I'm back, and I just ordered this game. Excellent. I hope it arrives quickly. We're also joined by Loco Runner, who I don't think has been here before, but welcome. Tiny Goliath says it's like tanks. They look small from a distance, then you get closer, and it's like, whoa, yeah. Definitely the case with that giant fucking snowman. Now, there's really no point to me getting all these notes unless I'm going to get them all in the level all at once. What I'm mainly looking to do is just find the move that I need to learn, and then I'm going to leave. So in that case, I'm not going to pick up any more notes, because I'll just, when I leave and come back, I'll have to pick up all the notes again anyway. The Mumbo tokens, though, I do get to keep. Loco Runner says, like my rooster. What do you mean? Your avatar, I guess? Come on, YouTube. Did they disable a feature? Wait a minute. Your rooster. I don't know. Looks weird, man. If you're talking about your avatar, that is. Yeah, he is talking about his profile pic. It's a rooster. It looks like it might have been captured like mid-movement of the head or something. But I do like people that actually, you know, put effort into their avatars. Unlike me. It's one of the presents for Boggy's kids. I don't think that the move is in here. But is there? There is a Jiggy up there. But I don't think that that's how you get it. Oh, I landed on the platform. I was almost glitching in there with it. But I bet you have to save the Twinklies out here first, which I'm not going to do. The Twinklies come out of that present, and then you have to kill the things that pop out of these holes so that the Twinklies can get to the Christmas tree and light it up. The Twinklies are Christmas lights. Oh, Loco Runner says that the rooster in his avatar says had been captured right when it started crowing. Okay. So it's like got its head thrown back and it's going nuts for a second. That's funny. Tiny Glad says, I wonder who built it. The big-ass snowman, I'm guessing? Perhaps Paul Bunyan? Time for some aerial action with my devastating Beak Bomb attack. Okay, so it's not the Beak Buster. Nice one, Goggles, telling me something. When you're flying, press B to launch Kazooie at a target, like a missile. Choose your targets carefully, though, as it costs a red feather each time. Well played, Banjo. You've now learned all the moves in the game. Okay. I'm going to attempt to demonstrate the Beak Bomb by hitting one of these Sir Slushes. And they do like to try and hit you in the air, too. Yes! That's how you do it, son. I'm going to pick up that Mumbo token he farted out. Actually, it was already there. It was just under his butt. So, I'm actually going to leave Freezeezy Peak now that I got the move I need, and go back to Gobi's Valley and finish it off. And then I'll come back here, perhaps in another stream. Maybe in this one if I have time. What am I doing? And finish off Freezeezy Peak. Oh, wait a minute, I can drop off that present that I picked up. Because I don't know if it remembers those when you go out of the level. Here. Oh, thank you, Brown Bear. Loco Runner says, it attacks me. You mean the rooster from your avatar? Sean says, of me leaving. He says, but you're already here. I know, but Gobi's Valley comes before this level. Whoa, there's a Sir Slush out here now. But Gobi's Valley comes before Freezeezy Peak, and I want to finish it off before I forget about it. And trying to remember how I get there. I think it's down here. Tiny Goliath says, Jeremy, is the N64 you are using your childhood console? Yes, it is. In fact, I am the only owner of this. I bought this N64 with my first paycheck ever. I bought this N64 in the summer of 1999. Brand new. And it is completely unmodified, completely stock. I still have the box and everything for it. And the controller I'm using is the atomic purple one that came with it as controller number 2. The controller that I used up until I started using this controller was the original gray controller. I stopped using that one because the stick stopped working. And I already got all the Jinjos, so I don't have to get them again. Or do I? It doesn't show them down there, but I got the Jiggy for getting them, so I shouldn't have to get them again. Hey, Dormer has joined us. He says, Banjo-Kazooie. Would that be the rip-off Chinese version of this game? You know, before I get much further here in collecting notes, I'm going to go ahead and do the pyramid that I can now access. Because I don't want the same thing to happen as what happened in King Sandybud's tomb, which is that pyramid right there, which is I went in there and I died and I lost all my notes. So if I do that pyramid first and I live, then I don't potentially lose a bunch of notes and then have to get all the notes in this level a 4th time. Nope. That was too low. God, shit. Wait, what? That still counted. I didn't hit it. No, that's the wrong side. Oh, that's the wrong side. And now I'm in the hot shit. Oh, too much hot shit. Oh, too much hot shit. I need a beehive. That grabba could also help too. Come on. I want your honeycomb. Fucker. Fine. Friggin' bees. Oh, that's actually killing him. Take that, bees. Sean says, cheater. Didn't do it on purpose, though, but I'll take it. Come on, Grubba. Tiny Glide says, I still remember wanting an N64 when I was 6, back in '99. I knew nothing about it. All I knew was it was Nintendo and the walls at Walmart had them. I'm lucky enough to have played the SNES and Genesis. I'm sure probably everyone watching has a story similar to that, regardless of when they actually grew up, because for the past 30 years or so, there's always been a console on the shelf, and so one of us has always been a kid at some point, looking through the glass and desiring. One of my oldest memories, well, older memories, is when I was in Toys R Us around 1992 or something like that, and they had a bunch of their video game consoles and general video game stuff in a long glass case on display. And in one of those cases was a Model 2 NES, and I'd never seen one before. And it was one of those things where it was kind of like a so close but yet so far kind of thing, because it was right there in the glass case, but I couldn't touch it, because, you know, my hand can't go through glass. I don't have that superpower yet. Wasn't until probably 5 or 6 years later that I got a Model 2 NES used at a local game store. And I still have that too. In fact, it's right up there. Since they like to, yep, right there. I was going to say they like to hide things in the camera. Here we go. Take one last look around and then I'll actually talk to Ruby here in the middle. Amanda45 has joined us. He says, I'm late, but Jeremy likes to start super late. Yeah, tonight I actually worked super late. And I spent some extra time setting up a second mixer, believe it or not, because my setup isn't complicated enough already. Now I need 2 mixers so that I can switch back and forth between the game audio and the OC remix music that I play during the pre-show and the after-show. That I can do it more cleanly and with better audio levels than I have been for the past 2 streams. Okay. Listen to his voice. Not Kazooie's voice, Ruby's voice. A frequent viewer of my streams, Jay, who has also been my friend for over 15 years, he thinks Ruby's voice is the best voice in the game, and he might be right. Well, no. In my case, he's the 3rd best voice in the game. Number 2 is Captain Blubber, and number 1 is Lago. And Shazam Hamden has joined us again. Welcome. Banjo-45 says, "Hey, this is Nelmo's number journey." I know. I still haven't found a copy of that. Okay, so what you have to do here is fart out some eggs into that rotating thing. See the snake in the middle there? It goes a little bit faster each time. Those names. Histup is the name of the snake in there. So now I can climb up the snake. He's a big ass snake. And get the jiggy. Ooh. It's all the jiggies in here. Now all I gotta do is get the rest of the notes. Then I'm done with Gobi's Valley. Banjo-45 says, "You fart eggs, apparently." Indeed I do. Watch this. It's technically Kazooie that does. You can go back into Jinxie, actually. Get these invulnerability feathers too, because I used a few. Shazamhamda makes a good point. They say, "I like how Ruby is so calm after a freaking bear enters his pyramid." A bear that farts eggs at him and shimmies up his snake? That didn't sound good. Jinxie is once again stuffed up. Sean says, "As #1 fan, because he made it first to the stream, I declare Jormware to be my second in command." Oh, it's on now. Banjo-45 says, "No, Sean, just no." John says, "Too bad, you're out." "I demand that you all compete for my affection." I like Jinxie's voice too. He doesn't have the most bass voice in the entire series, though. I think that award would go to Target Zan in Banjo-Tooie. Tiny Goliath says, imagine realistic Banjo-Kazooie grizzly with a backpack and a bird meandering into a tomb. Actually, now that you mention it, I think I have seen some pictures of people that have rendered, like artists and stuff, have drawn pictures of Banjo and Kazooie, except looking really realistic, and they're actually pretty cool. Sure, you can find that with a Google image search. I didn't have to go all the way up here. I did it again. So like Jormware is enjoying his new post of second in command. He says, woot. And Oddman845 says, but that's not very nice, Sean. It's not very nice to exclude people. And then Jormware says, 3 is still a medal winner. Bronze. And Shazal Hamden says, and then said bird farts eggs to pay a snake charmer who thinks all of that is normal. You know what makes you wonder? Ruby decided to live inside that pyramid, and he sealed himself in there, created a basket on the off chance that someone with eggs would come along and stuff them in there. How long has he been waiting, you think? Tiny Glide says, normal-sized bird dumping ostrich eggs. Which would be the realistic form of Kazooie. Shazal Hamden says, maybe Kazooie's an ostrich. She is a brie gull, whatever that is. I don't think it's a real bird. I think it's made up. Oddman845 says, Jeremy, you decide who is the best #1 fan. I will not decide. You can fight it out, and I will love the winner. Drummer says, Jeremy, you just do you and have a good time. Don't let Oddman pressure you into anything. Unless you want him to. No, I'm just sitting back and spectating the whole thing. I know it's not real. I'm just being silly. I know you're not really going to kill each other. Tiny Goliath says, and then 2,000 years later, Ruby was waiting. A beagle and some other bird. Yeah, and then they show up in there and he's like, God damn it, what's wrong with you? I wanted a bird, a bear and a bird. Get out of here. And then he waits another 2,000 years. Gotta hand it to him though, he's dedicated to his craft. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Ow. I'm just going to keep moseying over this way. Picking up notes as I go. And any more red feathers if there's any. Yes. Whoa, if that was close, I almost slid down that thing. Oh, shit. Oh! The collision on these notes is pissing me off. You gotta get really close to them. For those last two, I'm just gonna take the damage. Ah, no damage on that one. Probably because the damage is on a timer. Like you only get damaged by it every few seconds or so. And so I jumped out of the stuff and then back into it before the timer ran out, so when I didn't actually get damaged the second time I jumped in there. Go away. Loco Runner says, oh, I have a real copy of 2M Banjo-Kazooie. Excellent. Says, I can give you some of my cartridges. I have Diddy Kong Racing. I also have Diddy Kong Racing. If you're serious about giving me your cartridges, then I genuinely appreciate the offer. I don't have any kind of post office box or anything set up, though, to receive them. And that would mean that I would have to give out, like, my real address, which I'm not comfortable doing. But that's not the first time I've been offered stuff, so maybe I will set up a post office box at some point. Because then that's something that I can go check at my leisure, and then people that send me stuff don't know exactly where I live. Loco Runner also has a Bug's Life. Tiny Goliath says, I heard Diddy Kong Racing was good. It is a good game, but I am terrible at racing games. I couldn't beat the second boss in the game. Omega45 says, Jeremy has those games already. Maybe not Bug's Life. I don't have Bug's Life. Tiny Goliath says, how the heck does sand hurt a bear? That's because that sand is inhabited by crazy, deadly worm things, or so the game says. But this sand up here and this sand on the slope is just fine. But that sand in there, that's different. Loco Runner says, I am missing my Nintendo 64 power cord. What does it look like? It looks like a regular power cord that would plug into a wall outlet, and it ends in a brick kind of thing, which is like about this big, which then that whole thing plugs directly into the back of the N64. You can get those used at your local used game shop, or there are third parties on Amazon and eBay that make them and sell them brand new. They're not that expensive. I, of course, would only recommend an original Nintendo AC adapter, so you can be sure that it's going to be, 100% compatible. But if you are on a budget and you can't find a Nintendo one easily or quickly enough, then you can get a third-party one. Oh crap, are there notes on the way out of King Sandy Butt's tomb? Guess I'll find out. But I know which way to go in there now, so pretty sure I can do that somewhat easily. Okay, let's go down here. Get the ones around the pool, and then get the ones in the pool. Here's a fun fact. A lot of the voice noises in this game, like the noises that Banjo makes and Kazooie makes, are actually the voices of the people that worked on the game. Like, I think the lead programmer actually does the voice of Gruntilda. And that's true for all of Rare's games on the N64. They didn't hire in any professional voice actors, except for the great Mighty Pooh in Conker's Bad Fur Day. Otherwise, they were voices of people that already worked there. For the voice of the great Mighty Pooh, they actually brought in a professional opera singer to do that part. Don't need to get that Jinjo, but it's in the way, so I will. Local Runner says, how much for a cartridge? Depends on the game. Games that were either in low production or sold poorly, like Conker's Bad Fur Day, unfortunately. As good of a game as it is, it did not sell a lot of copies, so those go for more money. Games that are more common or not in as high of demand are cheaper. See, that's the exit to King Sandy Butt's tomb. And Tiny Goliath is correct. It does vary on where you buy them. The used game shops around here are very, very current with their prices. I think they may actually be monitoring eBay and adjusting their prices accordingly, because their prices are always pretty much in line with eBay's prices. And individual sellers on eBay may list for different prices, but they kind of all average out to be about the same amount. But sometimes you may find an eBay listing of, let's say like a parent or something that got an N64 and some N64 games for their kid, for when their kid was a kid, still has those games, and the kid has like moved out and gone off to have a life of their own. They left their games behind, and so the parent, not really knowing what they have or what it's worth, may just list all of them as one big lot on eBay for a really cheap price. So sometimes you can get lucky that way and get cartridges cheaper in a lot rather than buying them individually. Or sometimes you can check around at local flea markets and thrift shops and pawn shops, and those places may not be monitoring what current prices are, and so they may still set their prices lower than what the bigger used game shops may be, or what eBay might be. Are there any notes in this thing? How many do I need? I need 12. So I am missing something sizable. Is there any on this little island over here? fades out. What a dick. And there's not a goddamn thing over here, except for some red feathers. I'm full on those, so don't need no more. Tiny Glide says they don't have many active secondhand game stores around where they live, which is unfortunate. I'm actually pretty fortunate where I live. There's lots and lots of used game stores around here, and flea markets and thrift stores and pawn shops. Altogether, I could probably go out tomorrow and visit a dozen different stores looking for N64 games. Like if I really tried, if I put in some effort to find a copy of Elmo's Number Journey, then I could probably find a copy tomorrow. But depending on where you live, most people don't have that luxury, which is unfortunate. Local Runner says I might start live streaming on Twitch soon. Excellent. Everybody should play all the games for everybody. Tiny Glide says check your network speeds. Indeed, that's a huge thing about live streaming. I'm broadcasting at about 4 megabits per second right now, even though I'm paying for 20. But this is what seems to be an optimal level for me. I can go higher in quality because my equipment can support it, but then my stream starts dropping frames and then people can't watch. So if they can't watch, what's the point? You can go to, there's several different websites out there that will actually test your upstream speed. And I would say, depending on what system you want to stream, you may or may not be able to stream at a quality and a frame rate that will be acceptable to your viewers. In general, I would say if you can't get reliably 1 megabit per second upstream, then it may not be worth it to try and live stream. And that's the way it was for me with my previous internet service. The best I could get stably upstream was 0.5 megabit per second. And so I'm like, well, I gotta change internet services. This isn't doing it. So fortunately, in my area, I did have a choice between different internet providers. But not all people have that choice where they live. Sometimes the ISP has a monopoly on the area. And if what you can get is shit, then you're fucked. And that sucks. I wouldn't try to do it on satellite, because last I knew, satellite has a pretty high latency. And where the fuck are these last few notes? I need 8 more notes. I wonder if there's some of them in the exit to King Sandy Butt's tomb. Or possibly inside this pyramid right here. Amanda 45 says yeah, apparently he's lacking in used game stores as well. He says there's only like one GameStop, and GameStop sucks. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd buy from GameStop, and besides, GameStop, at least the ones around here, don't carry anything older than the previous generation, and so, well, no, they might have like PS2 games, so they might go back 2 generations, but they, at least the ones around here, don't have N64 games or anything older than that. You can buy the older stuff online from the GameStop website, but I'm not sure I would recommend that because I don't think they test their old games that they get that way. They just sell them out anyway, and if you have a problem with it, they'll let you return it, and you can even return it to a GameStop store. But, you know, that kind of sucks because even though you get your money back, you don't get the game. Well, that was close. Ah, yes. Here's some noticals. I need 4 notes. Haha. Shazam Hamden says, I wonder who did the voice of Sexy Gruntilda from the Game Over cutscene. I don't know, that's a good question. It might have been Evelyn Fisher, who I think also did the voice of Joanna Dark in Perfect Dark. I think she did. I'm not sure. Tiny Glass says, I heard the Mighty Pooh was voiced by the guy who did the music. No, the guy who did the music was Robin Beanland. To my knowledge, he is not an opera singer. Apparently, Loco Runner is going to be streaming Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Tiny Goliath says, shipping times off of eBay suck. It depends on the seller, which is why I always check the shipping time and the shipping options before I buy something on eBay. Sometimes one seller will offer you multiple shipping options, and depending on how much you want to pay and how fast you want to get it, basically. And if you're looking for something that's relatively common, then chances are multiple sellers have it listed, and chances are they will have multiple different shipping options listed, which may be faster or slower. So, as with anything, it pays to shop around, including how quickly it can get to you. Amini45 says, bye guys, I have to go, so have a great day and keep on gaming. Thank you for tuning in. I'm 845, even though you're probably already gone. Sean says, I work for an ISP. I didn't know they actually did internet service. But interestingly, I think I was in close proximity to one of your company's buildings, at least, today. I don't know if it was the one that you're actually in. Local Runner says, I'm not going to do any streaming because no one will watch me play. You should stream anyway. Because whenever I first started streaming, nobody was watching. But I streamed anyway and talked and enjoyed it as if people were actually watching. And you know what? People started watching eventually. So the phrase is, fake it till you make it. Even if nobody's watching, pretend like they are. And eventually they'll start and you don't have to pretend anymore. Plus it's just fun to stream a video game, to play a video game and show it off to the world. And you can do what I do, which was even back then when I was live streaming and nobody was watching, I'm simultaneously recording it and I'll upload that clip to my channel later. So even if people aren't watching for the live stream, they'll tune in at any time after that point and watch the clip. And then from the clip, they can find out when you live stream and tune in for the live streams. John says it takes time to build an audience. Yes, it does. In fact, I've been live streaming for over a year, and I now have a regular audience of about a half dozen people, which I think is pretty damn awesome. I mean, people tune in to watch me play a game, even if it's just one person. I think that's pretty awesome. But the people that are hoping to make it big quickly, you should not be hoping that, because you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. You know, a PewDiePie didn't happen overnight. A Boogie2988 took 10 years of work to get where he is. Am I still going to be doing this in another 10 years? Probably. Will I have an audience that's that big? Maybe. Do I want an audience that big? Maybe. Do I expect an audience that big? No. Logo Runner says I'll stream Battlefield 1. I'm too shy to talk on stream. You don't have to. You don't have to do commentary. You don't have to do a cam on yourself. I only do those things to, you know, enhance the experience. At least I like to think they enhance the experience. But if all you want to do is just play the game and let people watch, you could certainly do that. You can adopt your own style for your streams. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. Like, for example, on my streams, you'll notice that it's a pretty minimalist presentation, and that's intentional. I don't want to do a lot of glitz and glamour for my stuff, so I don't. And maybe that turns some people off. And if it does, then I'm not necessarily going to say fuck you to those people. But I like to think that the appeal of my streams is not the glitz and the glamour. In fact, the appeal of my streams is not necessarily me, it's the game that I'm playing. Okay, so that's it for this level. Let me just double check and make sure. Yep, that's 100% on this level. So I think that's actually a good time to stop. So I'm going to call that a recording at least, but for the people watching on the live stream, hang around for the after show. For the people that are watching on the recording, if you want to be notified when I'm live streaming, you can be notified in two ways. You can either follow me on Twitter, because I send out a tweet just before I start a live stream. You can find a link to my Twitter profile on my YouTube channel page, or you can subscribe to me here on you can subscribe to me on YouTube and then hit the notification bell, and you'll get a notification on your favorite device, provided you have the app installed. So until the next live stream or recording or some other kind of video, I'll see you.